Hello and welcome back to the channel Health Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to continue seeing more. Coming up in this episode, Catalans confirm 9 players outgoing for 2023 rebuild. Ex-Red Devil Lussick talks about grand final pain as he comes up against them for his new club. And the NRL continues with the playoffs, with week 2 of the finals kicking off with Parramatta versus Canberra Raiders. So we start off with the Catalans Dragons as they confirm that 9 players will leave the club over this winter break. While the departures of Sam Cassiano, Gil Dudson and Joe Chan have already been confirmed for the season, the others have just been made official. 6 other players who are out of contract at the end of the season won't be extended by the club. Every one of the players that are being released I will go through with you now. The first one on the block, unfortunately for Catalan, is Sam Cassiano, who arrived during the 2019 season, quickly becoming one of the Dragons' fan favourite players. His performances earned him a spot in the Super League Dream Team last season, and the New Zealand prop, who made 83 appearances for the Dragons, will play for Warrington next season. He'll be joined at the wire by Gil Dudson, who also moves there for the 2023 season. The Welsh prop who helped the club reach the grand final at Old Trafford last season played 39 games for the club in his 2 seasons in France. Joe Chan is next one mentioned, and his departure was confirmed back in April as the young Dragons forward is about to move to the NRL club Melbourne Storm for the 2023 season. He came through the club development system and made his Super League debut last year. He has since gone on to score 8 tries in 29 games, and he is ready to discover the NRL at only 20 years of age, and see if he can make an impact like his dad, Alex, did for the Storm as well. This one surprised me a little bit because after spending 5 years at the club, Benjamin Julian will not be a Dragon next season. After making his Super League debut with Warrington, the French second rower joined Catalans in 2018. He won the Challenge Cup during his first season and the try assist to Lewis Tierney for the opening try of the finals. He has also made 87 appearances, scoring 16 tries during that time, and will be involved in the French squad for the World Cup. One player who is a little bit surprising also that is moving on is Samisoni Lange, who arrived in 2018 like Benjamin Julian, also leaving the club. The Tongan centre had convinced the Catalans public since his arrival in Perpignan to be a real fan favourite. Also a real attacking asset for the Dragons over the past 5 years, scoring 26 tries in the 107 games that he played for the club. He has been a key part in the Challenge Cup run that saw them win at Wembley, and was also decisive last season when he helped the club reach its first ever Super League Grand Final. He was supposed to sign for Wakefield at the beginning of this season, but decided to carry on with Catalans to finish off his time there. What the future holds, and could have moved to Wakefield beyond the Bucks? Just don't know. Speculation at this point. Then there's New Zealand international Dean Ware, who was also confirmed he was leaving the club for 2022. Arrived at the club last season from Penrith Panthers, the New Zealand centre has been crucial in an outstanding run to the final last year. But seeing that his contract has ended, decided to move on, or has been told that he's going to be moving on for 2023. Which may benefit him, as he might go straight into a Wigan Warriors backline, as the rumours persist with him moving there. And finally, the last 3 are players that came through the club's academy. Corentin Lecam, Matthew Koza and Romain Franco haven't had their contracts extended by the club. Quarantine Cam made his debut for the Dragons against St Helens last year and made 11 appearances under the Catalans jersey, while Koza has made 10 games, including 5 Super League appearances in the last 2 months. Romain Franco has played 7 games for the Dragons. The French winger scored a try in the first Super League game of the season against KR. Catalans head coach Steve McNamara said Sami Zoni and Ben will always be remembered for playing a huge part in the first ever trophy winning team in 2018's Challenge Cup final. They will always hold their place in our history. Sam, Dean, Gil and Joe all played significant parts in the club's first ever League Leaders' Shield and Grand Final appearances back in 2021. Whilst Corentin, Romain and Matthew have all developed through our system and played important roles within our club. They now need to go and play regular first team football to continue that development. And all the players have been a pleasure to work with, and we wish them all the best in the future. The club would like to wish them all the best for their future also. McNamara has now got a little bit of a rebuild job on to create a new Catalans team. Well, of sorts, because Catalans have got so many good players. It remains to be seen when it comes to it, whether they are going to look into the foreign market or look to England for their improvements. Because if Catalans haven't already identified their better players in the French game, then their scouting network at home needs some work. Or do they feel that the French game isn't strong enough quite yet? We'll have to see, and we'll have to see how much they'll put through that Catalans academy. Now on to a little preview ahead of the St Helens versus Salford Red Devils game, as it's an interesting story involving Joey Lussick, as he is under no illusions of how important St Helens semi-final clash against his old club Salford is going to be, as he looks to get one step closer to finally clinching a grand final victory. Lussick played 59 times for the Red Devils and played in their remarkable run to Old Trafford in 2019, which unfortunately they ultimately lost against St Helens, and knows that his former side will be looking to get it spot on this weekend as they face off to clinch the all-important grand final spot. "This is what you work for all year," said Lussick. "Everyone's really excited, all 4 teams are. But we are really looking forward to this week." It's a bit of a funny one how the world works sometimes, but Salford have been phenomenal at the back end of this year, like Wigan and Leeds have as well. All 4 teams are going to be really on that spot next weekend. I think any team, it doesn't matter how you have been all this year, or if you've been good or poor, real end of the story is how you are now. We are 1 game off Old Trafford, so every team will be backing themselves this week. We're going to do that the same, and I'm sure Salford will be no different. This is the real nitty-gritty of the competition now, and there's a real excitement around the club and around the team at the moment, and we just can't wait for Saturday. They have finished the year really strong, and we know the threats and they are going to pose us this weekend. Lussick has experience of the highs and lows that the playoffs has to offer, and cites those losing moments after the grand final in 2019 as fuel to the fire to finally get that win with St Helens in 2022. "We had our ups and downs like many teams did, but like I say to everyone, no matter how you are gone in the year, any team that is there here at this point in the year is going to fancy themselves And we're no different in 2019. We were no different in 2019, said Lussick. We had a good run coming into the finals and we just carried that momentum. The most important people we had around were the people in the playing group, the staff and the players in the club, and it was just a great environment to be part of, as I'm sure the other three clubs are feeling at the moment. At the time, I remember I actually stayed back. Most of the boys went back to the sheds, but I stopped and watched the St. Helens boys for a couple of minutes and just realised and just said, geez, I wish that was me. There and then, you're obviously hurting a bit, but moving forward and looking to the future, you try not to look back too much on that and try and focus on what you have got. But it's definitely does add a bit of fuel to the fire. With the announcement this week that Alex Walmsley will be out of the remainder of the season and the World Cup, Saint fans were left worried that one of their star players will be missing for a crucial part of the season. However, for Lussick, Saints have no excuses to let that affect their mentality this weekend against the Salford side, who are full of confidence and insist his side have been focused on the job at hand. As black and white as it is, it's part of our game, he added. You can sit and sulk all you want and say, I wish we had him, but we are focused on the boys that are playing this weekend and the squad available, and we are all going to put our best foot forward. I'm very fortunate to be at a great club where they have some great success, but that doesn't mean too much come Saturday. We are just really focused on the game at hand, and hopefully we can put a good performance in and reach the final next weekend. So now we come to the NRL Final Series Week 2, with the Parramatta Eels facing the Canberra Raiders, while the Cronulla Sharks face the South Sydney Rabbitohs. And it has been a tough ask for these two to get through, but we're in Knockout Rugby League now, and the winners go on to Week 3, with the losers going home to watch on TV. Week 1 kicked off with 4 games. There was the winners of this first game between the Panthers and the Eels. One goes into second chance mode, while the others progress to the finals, which saw the Penrith Panthers come through 27 points to 8. Next was an elimination game with Melbourne Storm facing the Canberra Raiders, and the Raiders came through 28 points to 20, sending the Storm home and Canberra through to Week 2 with this game today. The Roosters faced the Rabbitohs, and the Rabbitohs got the better of the Sydney Derby with their win of 30 points to 14. Talked about it a lot, go see our previous episodes. And then the final game of the weekend on the Sunday saw the Cronulla Sharks and the Cowboys face each other in a second chance and a semi-finals berth being welcome. The Cowboys won it in possibly controversial style, with the Cowboys getting a 90th minute penalty for Valentine Holmes to kick over against this old club, winning it 30 points to 32 after regulation time, overtime, and then sudden death point scoring time. The Eels' 4th place position in regular season games means that they have got this chance of a second chance of progressing to the semi-finals, but they have got a Raiders team that are running hot with 5 straight wins to their name, while the Eels will be seeking a quick fix after being overwhelmed by defending premiers in the second half last week. Led by a dominant showing from their forward pack, Canberra overcame the Storm in a convincing fashion to win 28 points to 20, as we mentioned. in week 1 of the finals and are playing with confidence across the park now. While the scoreline probably didn't reflect how the Eels played, particularly through an impressive first half, they still failed to foot it with the Panthers. Basically keep up with the Panthers' aggression and everything like that. When the Panthers kicked up a gear in last week's game and were outscored 20 points to 2 in the second 40 minutes. The only prior meeting this year between the Eels and the Raiders saw the Eels overcome an 18 points to 16 halftime deficit to win by 8 in Canberra. The last time they met at this week's venue, CommBank Stadium, was in 2020, and Parramatta won by a field goal in that game. So, who have both coaches named in their squads? Well, for the Eels, with home field advantage due to their 4th place, Coach Brad Arthur has named the same 17 that went down to Penrith, with Bailey Simonson and Bryce Cartwright amongst the substitutes, and Nathan Brown at 18th man. 24 hours before the kickoff, there seems to be no changes from Friday night's hosts, with Mitchell Moses being named to start despite suffering a head knock against Panthers last week. With no changes to the Raiders, Ricky Stewart's men are made on Thursday in the 24-hour update. Informed forward Adam Elliott will miss the game due to a pelvic injury. His place in the starting lineup will be taken by Corey Hawaranara, with Ryan Sutton joining the bench in his return from hand surgery. Albert Hapawate is again the 18th man on the Raiders starting sheet. And it was 1 week too much for the Raiders, but Parramatta Eels put last week's defeat behind them after they dominated the Raiders 40 points to 4. Will Penasini got the job up and running with a try on the 6th minute before Tom Opetich and Waka Blake got tries apiece before the 20-minute mark. Junior Paulo was the next to go over underneath the 6 on the 23rd minute, but 28 minutes out, it was Xavier Savage, who wasn't having the best games to be honest, went over for the only points for the Raiders. Mitchell Moses scored just after half-time to put the result beyond doubt, but Marata Niokore scored twice to send the Raiders into week 3. Mitchell Pearce converted 5 from his 7 attempts and 1 penalty. But Parramatta go on to face the North Queensland Cowboys in week 3. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking on that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way soon. Tell me what your thoughts are on the episode in the comment section below. It's open to you. Whether it's going on about the game today, Catalans Dragons releasing 9, or a little bit of a preview to tonight's game against Salford. Tomorrow's game, Salford versus Saints at Saints. Saints are overwhelming favourites at this point, but Joey Lussick putting one over in his old team, making them feel heartbreak once again. Not as big a heartbreak as a grand final defeat, but big enough in the semi-finals. That's just all speculation. That's what Joey Lussick will be looking to do, because that's what he's employed to do. Anyway, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. I'll now wish you all the best, so please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.